Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Boomer Bytes podcast. I'm your host, Augie Anderson, coming to you from Mars Mission Control on Merritt Island. Yes, I really do live on Mars, and I love it. Today is episode 11, From Silver Tsunami to Life's Golden Transitions. I've got a ton of notes here because there's a lot to unpack here, and I'm fairly new at delving into this side of information because it only came to me recently, the term Silver Tsunami. I don't know how many of you are familiar with it, but I just became acquainted with it and I started diving right in. And wow, there's a lot to unpack. So let's dive right in. I want to know, are we prepared for the largest population shift in American history? Today, I am delving into the Silver Tsunami and why I believe it has created the need for a new way of thinking about aging, housing, health, financial, caregiving, and lifestyle decisions that often accompany aging. Most conversations about the Silver Tsunami focus on the impact of housing, healthcare, or the economy. But what interested me was something different. I started asking, what is it doing to families? I know what it's doing to my family. Fortunately, my mother, 92, has her wits about her, but I have to go to all the doctor's appointments with her and everything because she can't hear right. So I know from my own personal standpoint how it's impacting me. What happens when a parent can no longer live independently? What happens when an adult child now becomes the caregiver? What happens when a widow or a widower is faced with difficult decisions about housing, finances, or their future? They're scared. I mean, some people have been married 50, 60 years and living alone thing, they're not designed for that. I believe these changes require a roadmap. Do I have the roadmap? No, but I think we've got to talk about how we develop one. One I refer to as golden transitions, because that's what's going to combat the Silver Tsunami. It's a big wave coming in. So what exactly is a Silver Tsunami? Here's some key statistics. Approximately 10,000 Americans turn 65 every single day. Does that blow you away or what? By 2030, roughly 1 in 5 Americans will be age 65 or older. I've already arrived beyond that, okay? But I'm happy because I'm a pro-ager. About 4.1 million Americans are reaching 65 annually. That's why it's called a tsunami, because it's big and it's headed this way. And I don't really feel like we're quite prepared for it. So it's something really to contemplate. The Silver Tsunami isn't a crisis, though. It's a demographic reality, which is very different. And it is big. People are living longer. Families are facing decisions previous generations rarely ever faced. And it's alarming, actually. So what are the changes that families are facing? Housing transitions. Lots of people are downsizing. They're not going in assisted living. They're like, my house is too big. It's too much maintenance. I want something smaller, more manageable. Aging in place. Independent living, which is a different style. A lot of people like this because, you know what? Especially people that have been widowed or widower, they want companionship, and it's nice to be with other people. I think it's a great concept. Assisted living, moving closer to family has become very important. A lot of people are doing this, reuniting. Health transition, managing chronic conditions like Alzheimer's. I know it's a real thing, or it's some kind of dementia. There's a lot of families that are dealing with that. My dad had Alzheimer's. He passed away in 2010, 82 years old. And it was tough. That was a tough thing. Mobility challenges. They're not physically able to get around like they used to. Caregiving needs. Some need caregiving, and is it round the clock? Do they come in? I mean, there's so many things to think about. Long term care planning is another circumstance as well. My mom has long term care. She's still living in her house that she's lived in for some 20 odd years. But, I'm thinking, Mom, why don't you go to an independent living place where you'll have companionship? But these things are hard because parents have their own desires, ones that are mentally capable still. They think on their own, maybe not as wisely though, because I've had some issues with my mom, which I'm going to get into in the next episode. I forgot to mention, this is one of two sessions I'll be doing the next Boomer Bytes podcast, episode 12, with Carrie Fink, who's the executive director of Helping Seniors of Brevard. And we're going to talk about resources available. They are an amazing organization. I'm so grateful that I get to be a gold member sponsor with this fabulous organization that is truly helping seniors in Brevard County. There's estate planning, wealth transfer. There's life transitions, retirement, loss of a spouse again, finding new purpose. People are retiring and go, now what? What do I want to do now? What do I want to do with my time? How do I spend my day, right? Changing family roles. That's happening a lot in a lot of families. The great wealth transfer. According to research from Cirilli Associates, one of the nation's leading wealth management research firms, an estimated $124 trillion is expected to transfer from older generations to heirs and charities through 2048, making it the largest wealth transfer in American history. Is that amazing or what? Really? This transfer of wealth isn't happening someday. It's happening right now. And it's not just about money. It's about homes. It's about family businesses. It's about family heirlooms, values, a legacy, lots and lots to think about. Why I created Life's Golden Transitions. Why did I do this? What prompted me to do this? Well, I'll tell you. I was watching a webinar about helping people transition in their situations. And that's when I first heard the Silver Tsunami. And when I thought about it, I thought a silver tsunami, I don't think of a tsunami as something that is just big. It has impact. It causes damage. It causes destruction. Now that might sound negative and all that kind of stuff, but it's big and it's something to deal with. And I went, so how do we deal with it? What do we do with that? How do we combat? How do we prepare for that silver tsunami that's already taken place, by the way? It's not like it's coming. It's arrived. It's just getting bigger. The wave is getting bigger. So the point is, how do we then prepare? And to me, I felt like, well, it's transitions. It's life's golden transitions. Let's make, I'm very into the pro-age thing, which is make it a positive experience. Too many people have made aging like it's something to dread. I assure you, it's not. If you look at life the right way, golly, it's a gift. We are given a gift to be here and be with people that we love and grandchildren and family and fun and just so many things. It's not all meh and yuck, right? It is something to embrace, like make every day joyful, live your best life today, right now, right this moment, live your best life. Doing this is me living my best life because I love researching. I started out in my young life as a journalist. So I was writing and I loved researching and fact finding and it's still in me. And I love dispersing information, bites of information. I don't do typical War and Peace stuff where it's long and drawn out. I want to cover topics and get the gist of it and then work off of those things. Like, that's why I didn't do the whole thing with Kerry. That requires a whole nother session. So that's it. I've realized many people don't recognize they're entering a major life transition until they're already in a crisis. That's not the way to go, let me tell you. It's better to plan ahead. For instance, last year when my mother turned 90, I went, she's really in good shape. Let me take her to our attorney and review her estate, her trust. So we did, and my brother, my younger brother, passed away. He was 44 years old. He was still in the trust. There were so many things that needed to be changed. It was basically intact, but not fully intact. And I was really glad I took that step. I know what my mother's wishes are. I understand them. It's very clear. It's updated. And I'll tell you, it's a very good thing to do. Some of those crises are a fall, a health diagnosis. That's the loss of a spouse is devastating. I lost my previous husband in 2012, and I was only 58 years old. It was tough. It was a rough road. I got my Ray now, and I've reinvented myself, but I know the loss of a spouse. I know what that feels like, and I was heading into 60. Caregiving situations. How do I help? What's the best thing to do for my parent, my aunt, my uncle? I have a good friend. The aunt doesn't have any children. She's the one helping her. So it's not always our parents. That's why I created Life's Golden Transitions, to be planning, to be preparing. You can create a roadmap, have those tough conversations with your parents and say, let's review this stuff. Let's have a game plan. Cause it's really hard. People don't like talking about uncomfortable stuff, right? No, nobody who loves that, right? I don't love it. The thing is, it's important to do. You've got to face it, deal with it, plan for it. And then I'm telling you, it's a much smoother transition for who's ever transitioning. It's not a service. Like Life's Golden it's not a service. It's not a program. It's really, Life Transitions is about a roadmap of planning. You're going to plan a trip to California. You're not going to get in the car and go, I hope I get there. You're going to follow some kind of map, some kind of methodology. And that's what I think. You need a framework that helps family better understand the transitions that they either are facing or will be facing. Talk about it. Talk about it with siblings. Have a family meeting. I talk to my brother, and we have to kind of put our heads together with some of these things. My mother was very sick earlier this year, and it was a rough road. It was really touch and go and pulling things out. I mean, I uncovered a lot of stuff. I'm going to talk about this in the next episode with Kerry, but let me tell you, it's been an unraveling. And here's the thing. We can move forward with confidence. We can feel good about it. We can address these situations, be positive, be enlightening, and just go, hey, we got to have a game plan. We got to know what we're going to do. So life, it is a roadmap for navigating housing, health, financial caregiving, and lifestyle decisions that often accompany aging. And it's in line with my Pro Seller plan. My Pro Seller plan, I designed it to help seniors get the most they can, net the most they can from their homes. Because if they're moving on into these independent living, assisted living, let me tell you, you need some dollars for those. You got to be prepared for that. And they do need everything. And I'm really thrilled about what I have come up with. I've been a listing broker for many, many, many years. And I really came up with a great plan that helps them, which is not what we're talking about, in this session, but it is part of that transition. Is they're going to need the most they can of their proceeds if one of the things is they're going to need to sell their home. My aim really with this is to help people recognize the transitions they are facing or will be facing, and to connect them to trusted resources that can help, like helping seniors of Brevard. And then I'm a part of another group with Human Services. There's so many good contexts in there. I'm lining up with people that can assist in so many different scenarios. No one should have to navigate life's golden transitions alone. And some people are, because they have no family left. They just don't, or they didn't have any kids, or, like my friend Karen, she's helping her aunt who had no children, and she's facing a lot of things alone. Family may need healthcare professionals, financial advisors, elder law attorneys, housing specialists, caregivers, and community organizations. Fortunately, Brevard County is home to many outstanding organizations, professionals, and community resources dedicating to helping older adults and their families. Organizations like Helping Seniors of Brevard play an important role by connecting people with information, services, and support when they need it the most. In my next Boomer Bytes podcast, I did say Carrie Fink, the director of Helping Seniors of Brevard, we're going to discuss the resources that are available to families right here in Brevard County. Now, if you're listening to this and you're not from Brevard County, Florida, look up senior organizations, because honestly, they are everywhere all over the country. There's a lot of people now that are providing assistance to seniors, help, resources, and things of that nature. So here's what I think. There are 5 things every family should do today. Okay, maybe this week. All right, maybe this month. Start the conversation. I know it's difficult. You're like, I got it. But do it. Just do it. Like Nike said, just do it. Do it with love and compassion and sincerity. And I'm telling you, it's going to do you good. Talk about wishes, goals, and future plans before a crisis occurs. It is so much better when you have a game plan. Who goes out on the football field and doesn't know the plays, right? That's it. It's know the plays of life. Life is really an intricate balance of so many emotions and things. And as we age, honestly, people get more insecure. They get a little bit more set in their ways. And you just got to find that fine balance of having that conversation. Organize important documents. I have my mother's trust. I have all her papers, her long-term planning things. Make sure legal, financial, and medical information is acceptable. Make sure they have a living will. Make sure that you have a durable power of attorney, because you will need to speak. If you need, I have to speak for my mom all the time, and it comes in. I have to prove that she said it's okay, because some people, let's face it, they are actually abusing parents, stealing from parents, which I abhor. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night doing something like that. I don't know how people can live with themselves, but it happens every single day. Trust me. Discuss housing preferences. Talk about aging in place, downsizing, future housing opportunities. A lot of people I want to stay in this house, my house forever. You know what I've said? I've been a broker for 30 years, and this is still my contention to this day. Don't marry the house. The house is just the house. Yes, you have memories there, but those memories are also in your heart, in photos, and all sorts of things. Don't make the house your, Mausoleum is what it is to me. That may sound kind of weird, but don't marry the house. Don't marry the house. Find something more palatable to you as you change with life. I was living in a condo, which I like. Now I live in a house again because we bought the house that my husband's mother bought in the 70s. We still live here on Mars. Identify trusted advisors. Wow, I just went through a thing again, which I'll talk about in episode 12, and it's been a night. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. People have taken advantage of my mother, and I'm very disappointed. And it's complicated. It's really complicated. But identify those. Know who you can turn to with when important decisions arise. Create a legacy plan together. Think beyond money and consider the values, the stories, and traditions that you want to pass on or that you want to receive. We talk to my mother. We play cards all the time with her, and she talks about stories when she was a little girl in Hungary. My parents escaped Hungary during the revolution, and I was an infant. And she talks about stories of growing up and what it was like for her. It was very different. And so those things, we try and capture those moments because those are really wonderful things to pass on to your children and next generations. So, in closing, with this Silver Tsunami, just be prepared. That's what it's really about, being prepared. Life's golden transitions are about. You are going to, I'm going to transition. I just turned 70 this year. I'm a baby boomer. And you know what? I do feel like I am living my best life. Is my best life perfect? No. But every day I look for the joy. I have fabulous family here and in Europe. I have wonderful, wonderful friends. I have tremendous business associates that I respect and honor, and I have fabulous clients over the years. So I feel very fortunate, and I think that's how we have to move forward with these transitions. How do I choose to evolve? How do I choose to transition from one facet of myself to the next? Every facet of us are chapters, who I am now is not who I was at 50 or 40 or 30. And it's the same way for everyone. And we have parents, some of us that are still fortunate to have parents, they are counting on us to help them. But to help them, we need to know what they need. And we do have to have those conversations. So thanks for tuning in. I really look forward to the next episode with Carrie Fink. And I think it's really going to be a good one. I invite you to join us. It will be mid-July. We don't have that all set yet, but it'll be mid-July. I'll keep you posted. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Augie Anderson, the host of the Boomer Bytes podcast, where living your best life, that's what it's all about. Thanks for tuning in.